Hi, I'm Moonglitters and I'm completely new to Old School RuneScape. Somehow I stumbled across this game, watched a few videos, and because I'm apparently a sucker for timeless graphics and time-consuming games, I ended up buying a full membership. I had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into, but that's usually how these things go for me. After creating my account and launching Old School RuneScape, it was finally time to create my character. The character creator is pretty straightforward, but for some reason I actually like that. Not much later, the survival expert taught me how to fish, chop down trees, and I even cooked my very first shrimp over a campfire. I also met the greatest swordsman alive, who taught me how to kill my very first rat. And by the time I was ready to leave Tutorial Island, I had learned the ropes, and I was finally ready to step onto the mainland. But before this journey actually begins, I have to admit to two very dumb decisions I made. First, I decided to play as an Ironman. And second, I made up my mind about how I wanted to do this and gave myself a few ground rules. Rule number 1. No efficiency guides. I want to explore the game, learn things on my own and figure stuff out as I go, even if it may take more time. As I mentioned, I'm playing as an Ironman, which means no grand exchange and no trading with other players. If I want something, I'll have to earn it myself. Rule number 3. I will be using the RuneLite plugin Quest Helper, mostly because I unfortunately have a life outside of gaming and I'm really not much of a quest person in general. Rule number 4. The journey ends after 365 days. I'll play for as long as this membership lasts, and after 1 year we'll see just how far I've made it. Alright, let's get started. After leaving Tutorial Island, I banked everything, mostly because I wanted a bit more space in my inventory. With that out of the way, I thought it would be best to start with the 5 starter quests recommended by Jagex. At this moment, questing felt like the safest option. It gave me a clear goal and, more importantly, it gave me some direction for this fresh account. The cook's assistant sent me off to collect an egg, grind some wheat into flour, and I was told to milk a dairy cow. Before I knew it, I had completed my very first quest. Next up was sheep shearer. All I had to do was shear a few sheep and spin the wool into balls of wool. And just like that, another quest was done. The mirror puzzle in Mistalin Mystery completely confused me at first. I just couldn't figure out how to push the mirror in front of the cabinets. Turns out, if I had paid a little more attention, I would have noticed the mirror was simply too close to one of the cabinets. Once I figured that out, the rest of the puzzle was actually pretty easy. A little later, the quest was done and I walked away with some crafting XP and a few uncut gems. On my way to enter Draenor Manor, I got slapped by a tree. I wasn't even aware that trees could attack you in this game. After that, I helped Professor Odenstein turn Ernest back into a human, and in return I got 300 coins. I hope that's enough to cover the emotional damage from that tree. The last starter quest, Goblin Diplomacy, was honestly a bit frustrating. Why did I have to collect 3 goblin males, dye 2 of them different colors and run all over the map, just for the goblins to decide they actually wanted brown armor anyway? Why, Jagex? Why? Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why. After all those quests, I decided it was time for a little break. So far, the early game has been slower than I expected. I feel like I've spent more time running, or more accurately, walking around than actually playing the game. One thing I did notice though is that there doesn't seem to be a right or wrong way to play Old School RuneScape. Whether you're questing, training your skills, or just exploring the world, it always feels like you're making progress, no matter how small that progress might be. With the starter quests out of the way, I figured it was finally time to get a little stronger. So I spent some time fighting goblins to train my strength level. And there's level 5. Oh, combat level 6, I'll take that. One thing I did notice though, my health was getting pretty low, which would have been fine if I had remembered to put some food in my bag. Turns out I didn't have any. So I headed back to the river and caught a few shrimp instead. And that's level 10 fishing. By the time I reached level 10 woodcutting, I discovered something called Forestry. Curious, I headed over to Draenor Village to check out the Forestry shop. Of course, I bought myself a Forestry kit. And look at me now, I feel like a real adventurer. As far as I understand, it stores forestry items like anima-infused bark, whatever that is, and apparently all kinds of leaves too. So instead of getting answers, I somehow ended up with even more questions. The only logical thing left to do was chop down a few more trees. And with level 15 woodcutting, I can finally cut oak trees now. I started the day knowing absolutely nothing about Old School RuneScape. I still have a lot to learn, but I think that's exactly what makes this journey so exciting. And I'm really curious to see if I'll actually make it through the whole year. And if I do, where will this account end up? Honestly, I have no idea. But for now, that's one day down. 364 to go. I'll see you in the next one.